this is Jodi. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable birthday card, and it uses several Celebration products. So I want to show you the Celebration catalog for 2015 from Stampin' Up. I'm using the Big Day stamp set, as well as the Irresistibly Yours designer paper. And then also one of the options this year is to get free Blendabilities with your $50 purchase. So lots of options for Celebration 2015. And I want to highlight this specialty paper, the Irresistibly Yours. You see it here in the catalog, and it doesn't look that exciting, to be quite honest. And then you get the package, and this is what it looks like. So you can see this one has like some embossed stars on it. Still, it just looks tone-on-tone white, not very exciting. I wanted to show you quick before the card what I did with some of the patterns. So this I spritzed with some re-inker and alcohol. This is sponged. This one is colored with Blendabilities. This one is spritzed. This one is also sponged, and this one I used a brayer. So those are the patterns on the Irresistibly Yours paper. And that's what happens when you add ink to those patterns. So lots of fun. Now on today's card, I'll pull it back in here real quick. On this card, I want to show you how to make this fun background. So I'll go ahead and get started. I'm using Bermuda Bay ink. And actually, I'll open them all up quick. This one is Calypso Coral and then Crushed Curry. And what I'm going to do is just use my sponge dauber and go over the star paper just in a kind of random pattern. I'm just adding some stripes here. Now you'll notice I'm not going like this. You kind of see the circles when I do that. So rather than dabbing it, I want to set it on here and then swirl the ink into the paper. Do some more up here. And then you can see those stars just totally popping off the paper. This one is Calypso Coral. I'll add that. What's fun too is when you get here where the colors blend, you even get another color in that little overlap area. And we'll put some on here. And obviously the more ink you use, the darker your color will be. Then I'll do this little corner in coral also. And then the last color I want to add is Crushed Curry. So get that little spot there. And this, depending on how much you overlap, you can see that green color pop out where the Curry and Bermuda Bay overlap. So really lots of opportunities when you're blending the different colors. Okay. So, real quick and easy, there's so many options and ways that you can add color to the Irresistibly Yours paper. The last thing I would do before I put it on my card base is to just take a napkin, paper towel, whatever, and just rub gently over this. The embossed stars will resist the ink, but there's just a little bit that sticks on there. So by wiping it off, you just make sure all the ink is off of there. So this is a Bermuda Bay card base with a layer of Tangerine Tango. You can certainly use Calypso Coral. I wanted something a little bit bolder, so I used Tangerine Tango, and then there's this layer. Now I do want to show you this piece as well, and I went ahead and stamped already, and I used my Memento ink. This is the ink that you want to use when you're working with Blendabilities. So I will pull these in, and I'm using Calypso Coral, one shade of Daffodil Delight just for the flame of the candle, and then the Bermuda Bay Blendabilities. So do that. My little tip for using Blendabilities on this card, you can see that it's got some lines, some shadowing already on there. So what I'm going to do is take my darkest shade. If you're not familiar with our Blendabilities, each color comes in a dark, medium, and light. So I'm taking the darkest shade and going over on this left side, excuse me, right side where those lines are, and then just a little bit there where those lines are as well. Then I will take my medium. Oops. You can see here too, this line signifies the brush end, and this is the finer point end, which is what I want to use. So I'm going to go over that and just pull it over a little bit more toward the center of the cake. And I want to, like I said, go over the dark. That just helps blend the colors a little bit better rather than just like going next to it. You want to try to overlap a little bit. And then finally the light, and I'm going to use the brush end on this and just pull that color over. So I'll pull from the dark through the medium and over to the light. I think I am going to use the fine point end just a little bit too to get some of these little tiny areas because I don't want to go out of the lines too much. Okay, then, oh, and here's a little tip too. If you have a hard time getting the cover on, just set it on here and slide it in, and that helps you line everything up right. So now the cake plate using Bermuda Bay. Same thing where these little lines are, I'm using my darkest shade. It kind of helps me on this stamp because the shadow is kind of built in, so I don't really have to know what I'm doing. I can just color over what they already have. Pull that a little bit. And then pull this all together with the lightest shade. And again, I'm going over what's already there and then pulling it over to the side. And then you can kind of see that nice, progression of color from dark over to lighter. And this is a small little area, so you just want to be careful when you color that in. There. So the vibrant background and then the blendabilities on this card just really work nicely together. Thanks so much for watching. For daily creative inspiration or to place an order, visit my blog. You can also find me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram.